All right, it is that time. It is time for the park. It is Halloween time. It is October. I had this muted. Why is it still coming through? It is Halloween time. It is October. I had this. Oh, wow. The dashboard is always muted. Why did it come back as not muted? All right. The one time, it hasn't been that way in um, yeah, about 6 months. The dashboard's been auto muted the whole time. It used to do it all the time, so I had to catch it every single stream, but it hasn't done that in a long time. It's really weird. Of course, they are making all these weird changes to Twitch, and now they're talking about a new dashboard and all that, which everybody I'm sure will hate. Um, but yeah. So the park is I've played it a few times here. But it is that time of year when we play it again. Um, you know, it's one of those things that if you haven't played the Seven Silences, I do recommend going back and finding an old video to watch it once and only once. If they were to bring the game back or bring the mission back, even if they just turned it on live in the old Secret World, I would download the old Secret World just to play it on stream. Um, it's a really dark and it's a really rough game to play. Really rough. I will not lie about that. It's a really rough mission, and I can it, but it was really well done. It was really well done, and that's why it's so hard to play. Um, but I do wish that they would bring it back at least for um that one time, just so we can have it. Like I say, there is some um it, it's rough. There's lots of suicide stuff in there, and there's a whole discussion of, you know, there it brings up a lot of lore discussions as well. There's there's stuff about, can you force somebody to be a bee? Can you can you make somebody not a bee? Can you um and you know, and what lengths would somebody go to and why um to be free of being a chosen of Gaia? And so it's really really dark, but it ties into this game, because this is how you understand Lorraine's mindset. um the park is what starts it off and what brings her to the point where she has the interest of the council. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and play the park, and we'll discuss that a little bit more maybe um, as we go along. Now you see I've turned most everything off on my stream for this reason, because it's better to be as few distractions away from the game as possible. Also talking a little differently than normal, I know. Yeah, so if you've got got the ability, you turn off the lights, put on some headphones. If you're playing this game, the first time I played it, I definitely played it with the lights out in my
heart and
bedroom
mind, I always return to Atlantic Island Park.
with the lights off and headphones on, because it really does help the whole experience.
Where's Mr. Bear?
I haven't seen Mr. Bear, Callum. Stay in the car. I'll go and ask information.
Now, there's a thing that it's the last achievement. I've never gotten it. You can supposedly just leave the park and leave your kit. I figure I should check that out. I've never actually done it. These are the myths. The myths that are familiar in Kingsmouth. Which comes down to... I don't know if this was the fog. And this was the moment of the fog. It would explain some things.
What am I thinking? I can't leave.
There we go. Alright, so I did get the achievement there. There we go, now I'm 100%. I've been at 13 and 14 for a long time. Ever since I played it, basically. So yeah. Alright. I think the mist is more about her memory, though, not the actual fog.
Attention, patrons. The park is now closed. Please make your way to the car park at your earliest convenience. Employees, prepare the park for shutdown.
Callum was born the day this place opened. This is his favorite place in the world.
And of course we know that Nathaniel Winter in Atlantic Island and Atlantic Island Park, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on there. Why can I not move? Oh, great. That was an interesting bug. Never seen that before. This is obviously well before they shut down the...
What?
Hey, Lorraine. Lorraine. Don't blame yourself, Lorraine. People lose things all the time. Take a deep breath and think about the last place you saw your son's teddy bear. Hey, stop! I think your boy just ran into the park. I'll unlock the gates for you.
People lose things all the time.
Callum, where are you going?
This way, Mommy.
Wait for Mommy, Callum!
Over here.
The world distorts a little bit.
Wait for Mommy, Callum!
Come on, Mommy.
There's something special about the entrance to an amusement park. A line drawn between the real world and the world of whimsy within. On this side, the apathy of our everyday lives. And on the other, anything we might dare to dream. It's no wonder Callum ran back inside. I wouldn't want to leave either.
Attention employees, the park is now closed. Have a safe journey home.
Callum's ahead, but then his form gets all twisted, and then that happens, and that's not good.
Callum, I told you to wait in the car.
Over here.
Okay. And the park just went a lot darker.
Oh God. The park. What happened here?
Lights are off.
I'm not playing anymore, Callum. It's easy to get lost here. Wait for Mommy! Callum, stay where you are!
You can't catch me.
Callum! Where did you go?
He obviously ran that way, but
Come back, Callum.
Over here.
Carrie Killian. A little bit of graffiti. This very pleasant. It's a witch. Hansel and Gretel, right?
Too dark. I'm not going in there without a flashlight.
May have been that I was supposed to pick up a flashlight back there a little bit. I can't remember. We know Callum went this way.
I think this belongs to Callum. Chad the Chipmunk, huh? Just a drunk guy in a suit.
Chad the Chipmunk, worst in class. Chad can't even seem to pass. Chad gets angry, likes to fight. Chad is beaten every night. Chad will have a dead-end job. Chad will die a useless slob. Yeah. Poor Chad. Probably shouldn't make fun of Chad.
What's this?
Purchase this land on Solomine for pittance. I might add, whatever old Archie Henderson did to the locals, just the mention of his name had people slamming doors and locking shutters from the moment I arrived on the island. My lawyers had arranged everything in advance, but the realtor still had to come and deliver the keys to me personally. He took it upon himself to offer me another warning. I don't know what you're planning to do with this land, Mr. Winter, but the soil here is bitter with a curse carried from the old country. Old man Henderson, he did terrible dark things. Land remembers, sir. I dismissed him shortly afterwards, mostly amused by his pathetic attempts at warning me off. I have a great vision for this place. Voices. At the will to see the vision through to the very end. Atlantic Island Park. The name is perfect, and I can't imagine it being anything else. Start of something amazing.
Callum! Where did you go? Stop! Callum! Come to mommy, Callum. Callum, stay where you are.
Come on, Mommy.
There we go.
Come out, sweetie. Callum, where'd you go?
Certainly taking a ride in the tunnel of love rather than waiting for him to come out the other side.
Near a great forest, there lived a poor woodcutter, his wife and his 2 children. A boy named Hansel and a girl named Gretel. They were very poor and had very little to bite or sup. What will become of us? The woodcutter asked his wife one night. I tell you what, husband, we will take the children into the thickest part of the forest tomorrow and abandon them there. No, my wife, I cannot do that, said the man. Then we will all 4 starve, you fool. Hansel and Gretel overheard their parents talking, and Gretel began to weep. Do not fret, Gretel, Hansel said. He crept out of the hut and gathered white stones from the ground to fill his pockets. The next morning, the woodcutter leads the children into the forest. Before they leave, their mother gives them a slice of bread and warns them that they will get no more food that day. Clever Hansel leaves a trail of white stones behind them as they pass into the woods. When their father leaves them, the children wait a while, then follow the trail back to their parents' house. After receiving a thorough scolding from their parents for getting lost in the woods, the children are sent to bed without any supper. Hansel tried to sneak out and collect more white stones, but found that the door was locked. Tomorrow I will take them into the woods myself, the wife told the woodcutter.
Such
In the morning, their
a
mother
wholesome
gave them
story.
a slice of bread and led them deep into the forest once again.
Callum, where did you go? Callum, where did you go?
Hansel broke his bread into pieces and promised a trail of breadcrumbs to lead them safely home. But hungry-eyed birds snatched up the breadcrumbs and his trail was destroyed. Abandoned by their parents and unable to find the trail home, the children wandered in the forest for 3 days. The children stumbled into a clearing with an exceedingly strange house. Its walls were made of gingerbread, and its windows were panes of clear sugar. Hansel, desperately hungry, ran forward and began to nibble on the walls. Nibble, nibble, little mouse. Who is nibbling at my house? An old woman emerged from the house, sniffing the air and peering around with cloudy eyes. Oh, you dear children, who brought you here? Just come in and stay with me. No harm will come to you. But Hansel and Gretel stayed back, for the old woman reminded them of their cruel mother. Come, children, don't be afraid. I have something for you. The old woman offered them 2 enormous lollipops. The children took them and began to eat. You see, nothing to fear here. Come inside, the old woman urged, and the children, still licking their sweets, followed. Once inside the house, the old woman changed.
Still make me jump.
She stuffed Hansel into a cage and put Gretel to work, sweeping and cleaning her hut. Your brother will make a good mouthful, the old witch told Gretel. Once he is fattened up, I shall feast upon him. Time passed, and poor Hansel refused to eat, fearing the day that the witch would eat him. The witch, for her part, grew impatient. Today I will cook and eat your brother, Gretel. Climb inside and light the oven. But Gretel pretended not to understand. I do not know how. Where is the opening? Fool, the old witch said. The opening is here. And she moved to show Gretel. Seizing her courage, brave Gretel gave the witch a shove, and the old crone tumbled forward into the oven. Gretel slid a large iron bolt over the door to the oven. Gretel freed her brother Hansel, and together they lit a fire beneath the oven. And though she screamed and begged, the children sat by the oven until her screams had stilled, and the witch was cooked. And then, because even children can't survive on sweets, they divided up the body of the old witch and ate her.
Nom nom nom. Please don't turn and look at me. Yes, it was, that's one of the better tellies of that story. I do like the one in the movie Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. But that movie is just
Hansel
good
and Gretel.
and wrong on so
I
many
used to read it
levels.
to Callum when the electricity was shut off. Those poor children. The whole world against them. The forest, the birds, the old witch, even their own parents. I used to imagine that Callum and I were the kids in that story. Not mother and son, but brother and sister, hand in hand against the unkind world. We were always hungry, looking for our own house made of candy, looking for the sweetness that could take the pain away. Hunger leads people to desperate, terrible places where the tree branches reach like claws. Hello?
Catch me, Mommy.
Come out, sweetie. Wait for Mommy! Don't hide from me, Callum. Hello? Another accident. This place. Callum?
Over here.
Hello?
There's a teddy bear with a knife jabbed in its eye. Looks a little big for Callum though. Despite the constant interruptions to work, Atlantic Island Park will be opening on time. The governor is booked to cut the ribbon, so the only real question is whether we will have any customers. I'm not truly worried. The customers will come out of simple curiosity. I've deduced what was needed from the banned writings of Archie Henderson. It's astonishing to think that a resonance of positive emotions can be used to fuel such a process. Henderson himself chose to use negative, and that caused some of the taint that still lingers in this place. I will not make his mistakes. Very soon I will know if this has all been for nothing. And what happens when there are negative emotions in this place that you created? Because people aren't always happy and joyful at amusement parks. They get upset. They don't want to be there. They're mad at their kids. They think bad things.
Mommy needs to see you, Callum. Callum, tell Mommy where you are.
There's a few paths you can take in this.
Where are you? Callum, come back here right now.
This way, Mommy.
Where did you go?
Mother Duck said quack, 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 quack.
Mommy needs to see you, Callum.
This isn't a Ducky Ducky story, I can tell you that.
Callum, where are you? Come back. Callum?
Oh, crud, I'm stuck. That was weird. The Octotron and the bridge. The thing is, the bridge and the Octotron are not exactly in the right places. Which doesn't make the most sense. But, you know, stylistic for the designers of
Blood run
this.
to my head. Make me dizzy. The guy just snapped. Those poor kids.
We were waiting our turn on the ride. Frank, me, and the boys. This fellow in the chipmunk suit making an ice carving while people took photographs. Lawrence wanted to go over to him, but I've always been a bit wary of those suits. They give me the creeps. It's silly, I know. Anyway, the chipmunk man, he was carving and picking away at the ice, and at first we thought he was making some animal like a tiger or a lion. But as more and more ice fell away, when you first looked, it was like a human face smiling at you out of that block of ice. But the more you looked at it, the more you saw that there was something not quite right about the proportions. Something unnatural that made your heart begin to beat just a little bit faster, like you were prey, and that thing in the ice was a hunter. Then these teenagers walked up, and one of them made a face at the carving and said something rude to the guy in the chipmunk suit, and then he went berserk. For a few moments it was chaos. Everybody was running away from the guy who had one of the teenagers on the ground, and he was stabbing in with the ice pick, and the blood was spraying, and people were screaming. And Frank and I had the kids, and we were dragging them away as fast as we could. The last thing we saw before Frank dragged me away was that the eyeball of one of those poor kids had landed on the ice sculpture, making the horrible creature look more or less alive.
Wait, Callum! Where are you? Stop, Callum!
Gotta slow it down a little bit. Notice how it's semi-transparent? That might just be the reflections of what's behind me. And the Ferris wheel's still going.
I can't get on while it's moving.
Okay, we gotta slow it down some more. Oh, jeez! I always forget where he appears.
Callum, stay where you are!
Of course, that's the boogeyman from the missions in Secret World around, revolving around this area.
Callum! out, sweetie.
Frustrated by the fact that the plants seem incomplete, I know as well as anybody that the rules of the game can change with enough money. But no matter how much money talks, it can't conjure up missing plans from thin air. I've tried contacting the organization who sold me these plans, and they are stonewalling me. Every contact that I have, every meeting place that I have had watched, are swept bare. I have a sinking feeling that I've been swindled. We've gone ahead with what we could find in the plans regardless. The harvesting machines, the transport mechanisms. I'll probably let Nicholas name them something cute for the day we open the park. They will be rides after all. They got the designs for the park from some organization. Because we know that there's a bunch of benevolent organizations out there in the secret world
Where are you?
who only want to help people.
I'm not playing anymore, Callum. Mommy needs to see you, Callum.
Catch me, Mommy.
Come back, Callum. Treachery hides in thoughts. Treachery that lashes like a whip and scars our insides. The first time I saw Callum, my thoughts betrayed me. I looked down at this wrinkled, red, bawling thing and I thought, is that it? We build our world from expectations, and the world that I had built for Callum was no different. He was so real, so there, and so far from my expectations. They shattered, and as they fell in pieces, that one treacherous thought became a new foundation. All of the love that we shared, all of the warmth and goodness that followed, built on a single, traitorous thought. Where are you? Callum! Come to Mommy, Callum. Where did you go? Mommy needs to see you, Callum.
Nothing like some wholesome creatures to be your mascots. They totally don't look like they're
Stop,
going to eat you.
Callum!
I thought working in the park for a summer would be a lot of fun, but the end of a season here really drags. There aren't that many tourists around, and so most of the staff spend their days standing around gossiping. Most of that gossip is about Chad. I mean Steve. See? Even I'm starting to call him Chad. I went to school with the guy. It's that goddamn suit. In the beginning it was a laugh. Steve the local lush is Chad the chipmunk. Child-friendly mascot at Atlantic Island Park. Lock up your daughters and all of that. But the more he wears that suit, the weirder Steve is getting. At first it was little things, like refusing to change out of the suit at work and taking it home with him every day. But then I saw him at Susie's diner, still wearing it, and it wasn't even a work day. Some of the staff complained, discreetly, to park management about the smell. I saw him walking and talking with Mr. Winter, the owner, one day. But nothing seemed to have changed. The suit still smells like a carcass whenever Steve walks by. And apparently Steve has picked up some new skills since the last time I saw him puking up in the gutter outside the cycle station. Because he sure as hell can carve a mean ice sculpture. Those shapes he makes in the ice, though, they give me the creeps. Steve came by the booth today, lucky me, and he just hung around for a while. I couldn't really tell because of the suit. It seemed like he was just staring at me, sizing me up. Whatever he was doing. I asked him what he wanted and he just stood there not saying anything. Eventually I called my supervisor, and when he came by, Steve wandered off. My supervisor told me to put everything in writing, so here it is. Also, I quit. I don't want to see that chipmunk suit ever again. Laura Henman. Whoa! Oh, wow. There's something in there.
Where are you?
There's like a face in there.
Don't hide from me, Callum. Stop! Callum!
And it's like Chad became Chad.
Callum! Where did you go? Where are you?
And her thoughts are feeding and
Come out, sweetie.
powering this place.
Constant crashes and 80s music. I guess it floats someone's boat. Callum, stay where you are. Callum, where are you?
And that was her. Something was definitely wrong.
Hello?
Of course, we know this is a completely safe place.
Callum? Callum, tell Mommy where you are. Wait, Callum! Come back. Callum, come back here right now! Wait for Mommy! What's this?
Nathaniel Winter, financial genius or eccentric geriatric. When Nathaniel Winter, billionaire mogul, announced his intention to build an amusement park on the fog-shrouded shores of Solomon Island off the coast of New England, there were sniggers up and down Wall Street. Winter, who made his fortune through a series of savvy investments during the post-war boom, had long been considered an eccentric but brilliant man. His passion for the New England region has always been at the forefront of his investment portfolio, with him pouring funds into local businesses, small and large. In general, his business sense and investments have paid off, and due to his generosity, Winter enjoys a friendly relationship with the governor and other key political figures. So why, with a track record like this, are the Wall Street wizards shaking their heads? At first glance, Solomon Island is an odd choice, a tiny town called Kingsmouth, with a sleepy main street, a preppy academy for dropouts from Boston, a lighthouse that is already in the process of being automated, and a belligerent tribe of natives who were very recently involved in a dispute over the Blue Ridge mines. It doesn't make sense, one commentator pointed out. New England has a short summer this far north, and the number of visitors to Solomon Island per season are limited. I don't see how he expects to turn a profit. But others have far more faith in Winter. Under condition of anonymity, an engineer who has seen the plans of the park notes several anomalies. He's digging far deeper than is needed for an amusement park, including several underground chambers which are too small to house machinery. If you ask me, the old man is looking for something buried beneath the island itself. Could this be the real reason the eccentric businessman is relocated to this remote northern island? Is this corporate misdirection of the highest order by a crafty entrepreneur? With the disputes over the Blue Ridge mine with the native population ongoing, there's definitely something buried beneath Solomon Island. Perhaps Nathaniel Winter is going to surprise us all. Perhaps he will.
Callum? Callum? Where'd you go? Come out, sweetie. Come out, sweetie.
During the transport of bumper cars into the arena, one of the straps attaching the load to the truck came untied, causing a cascade of bumper cars onto Francis, who was standing directing the driver. Francis was crushed by the weight of the cars. Francis was killed. Did the employee see a doctor? Yes. If so, did you file out the workers' compensation form? Dexter, the truck driver, claims to have seen someone on the back of the load, undoing the straps. Nobody else reported seeing that. The sheriff has requested that Dexter provide them with urine samples. What could have been done to prevent this accident? Double checking of the straps after transit should be mandatory, and drug screenings for all drivers. Have the unsafe conditions been corrected? No. The local laborers are very superstitious, and this hasn't helped. Some of them are refusing to return to work until we have someone from the local church walk the park and exorcise the bad spirits. Well, that was good.
Callum? Callum!
Perfectly normal. Let's just go where the evil spirits have sent us on their wild bumper car chase.
Callum, where did you go?
What could possibly go wrong?
Stay where you are!
A baby.
It's a matter of public record that I am a failure as a mother. Once, when Callum was very small, I left him asleep in the car while I ran an errand. Don't even remember what it was. When I came back, the sheriff was standing next to the car, watching my boy through the window. I didn't like what I saw in his eyes. Judgment. He wrote me the ticket without saying a word. Just the scratch of his pen on the notepad. When he gave it to me, our eyes met. I know what you're going through. My daughter, Helen, she just gets some help. Help was a bolt of lightning. Help was 1,000 volts surging through my veins. Help is agony. I'd rather die. I wanted to scream. I'd rather you pulled your gun and shot me. But instead my mouth said, "Yes, Sheriff." Where are you, Callum?
Of course, that baby crying is much too loud to be Callum. Or much too young to be Callum.
Don't be afraid.
The Ferris wheel is just amazing.
Stay where you are.
Continually delayed by the incompetence of builders, the problem is that they're locals, and so they believe a lot of the rumors about what Old Man Henderson used to do here. They grew up on those tales. Every time a bolt comes loose or a wrench goes missing, those fools are crossing themselves against the black magic. Of course, that is why I chose the site over all the other potentials. Solomon Island is a nexus for dark energies, and the thought of all that power just dissipating the earth here makes my skin crawl. I called in a few favors back in Brooklyn and got someone at the local academy to see if they have any interesting books about local history. Brooklyn, which is where the Illuminati are, and the local academy, which again is the Illuminati. Turns out they do, and it turns out that Old Man Henderson has some pretty strong connections to the Brooklyn crowd. Perhaps something you wrote will help me find the piece of the plans that I am missing. Or you could all be, you could have been tricked into making this, considering how far back the history of, Solomon Island goes with the Illuminati.
Callum, tell Mommy where you are. Mommy is coming, Callum. Mommy is coming, Callum. Callum, where did you go?
If we can jump on one of these.
I can't get on while it's moving.
Okay, it should have stopped enough. There we go. Because writing this decrepit, definitely not in well working order, as if she had just went in there that same
People come
day.
into your life for a reason. Dad used to say that before Mom ran off. After that, he mostly just drank. Things were different for Don and I. When we met, I was sweeping the floor at Susie's diner. He came in with some workers, but he didn't try to flirt or cop a feel like the others. He just ordered a coffee and sat there, watching me. When my shift was over, he offered to walk me home. I don't know how to describe that walk. We talked and laughed and eventually kissed. It felt like love. It felt like a fairy tale. I can't tell you if Callum was made that night or one of the ones that followed. But I think it has to be that night. That one perfect night. Dawn and I moved in together, but then, well, he died. According to the supervisor, his safety harness failed when he was working on the top of the Ferris wheel. Dawn was there one moment, and then gone. Sometimes people leave your life for no reason. I was 3 months pregnant with Callum. Fairy tale fucking over.
And there he is again. You could miss some of this stuff if you're looking in the wrong spot. Pretty funny.
Where are you, Callum? Stay where you are. Callum, where did you go? Where are you, Callum? Mommy is coming, Callum.
This is still showing. There we go. Have to turn that down. That's super creepy.
So they are going to close this place down. Doesn't surprise me.
After touring the park, riding the rides, and viewing the startling number of incidents suffered here in the park, it is the inspector's opinion that Atlantic Island Park should be shut down until Nathaniel Winter complies with all safety regulations. While I understand there is a sensitive political relationship between Mr. Winter and the senator, I nevertheless suggest that such political considerations be set aside in condemning Atlantic Island Park. The ride, at first glance, appear well constructed and maintained, but the sheer number of incidents in the park during the last few years and during construction lead me to believe that there is something wrong at the base level of construction, and we should close the park and fully investigate these flaws. To wit, here is a partial list of fatalities in park since opening. Family of 3 killed when a roller coaster cart derailed. 14 separate incidents of broken bones and crushed ribs while riding the Oxytron. 3 suicides from the top of the Ferris wheel. A child seriously injured on the escalator. Over a dozen children reported missing in the House of Horrors since construction. 1 report of drowning in the Tunnel of Tales. The sheer volume of incidents means that it is my strongest recommendation that Atlantic Island Park be closed immediately. September 22nd, 1980.
Don't be afraid. Callum? did you go? Stay where you are. Mommy is coming, Callum. Callum? Callum!
And there's a fallen Ferris wheel cart.
Callum, where did you go?
Whoa.
Come to Mommy, Callum.
Here they come. More of the Ferris wheel carts.
Where are you?
Well, the roller coaster derailed at least once.
A lot of people idolize their children. You hear them talking about their kids and just the way they talk, their fucking voices make me want to vomit. My angel likes to read, and little Johnny is so good on the piano. Fuck those people! You give up 9 months of your life carrying them, you traumatize yourself giving birth to them, and then you spend the rest of your life as their slave. Wiping asses, mopping up piss, feeding them. Little life-sucking monsters who take and take and take until... we all go insane. Any parent who pretends otherwise is just dishonest. That's called choice supportive bias. I am honest. Callum really grinds my gears, and he owes me everything. Everything. It'd serve the little fuck right if I just abandoned him.
And this is where it starts to go twisted. Even more so than normal.
Don't be afraid.
Don't touch it.
Stay where you are. Mommy is coming, Callum.
He's coming, Mommy.
Mommy is coming, Callum.
Don't do it, Mommy.
Stay where you are.
He's watching you.
Where are you? Callum!
Mommy, he's watching you.
Where are you, Callum?
He's watching you.
Callum! Tell Mommy where you are!
He's coming, Mommy.
Callum, where did you go? I always wanted to ride this one. Never got around to do it before. Don't be afraid.
Well, this is already creepy if you ride it in the secret world. The fact that you need the ticket to ride it is more proof
What do you
that
want?
Lorraine is a little
To
insane.
talk about Callum.
What do you mean? What have you done to him?
That's insulting. You and your boy are everything that this place doesn't want. The antithesis of what we stand for.
He's sitting there.
Where is Callum?
The poor child. He tried so hard to do what he was taught. He even left you a trail of breadcrumbs. But the park is just so hungry.
Tell me where my son is.
The witch has him now. Has both of you. No happy ending here, I'm afraid.
Just leave me alone.
fool. You always were.
Missed what they said again. It works. The calculation and adjustment works. The transport and storage mechanisms seem to be flawless. What a wonderful day. If only these people knew what they were feeling. And so what if a few people leave the park at the end of the day feeling dour? So what if the children are more scared than excited on the roller coaster? This could be the doorway to immortality. With such doorways open only to those who have the will to find the key.
I can help you, Callum. Come back! I'm not playing anymore, Callum! This isn't a game, Callum! Callum, where are you? The witch awaits. Callum? Callum! Callum has bruises on his arms, finger marks. Someone has been hurting him. I've asked him, demanded really, to know where he got the marks. But he doesn't want to answer me. Something has scared him into silence. He doesn't dare talk. He's been changing too. Something sinister lurks in the darkness behind his eyes. I catch him staring at me at odd moments. In the night, he tosses and turns and cries out words that I cannot understand. When I try to soothe him, he snaps and bites at my fingers. I think he wants to talk to me. I think he wants to tell me. But they are watching him every minute of every day. They are whispering to him in his sleep, changing him. They are taking my baby away from me. I can't save him. There will be pain. But I love him, and in the end, he will understand why. I'm not playing anymore, Callum!
Follow the breadcrumbs.
I can help you, Callum.
Don't let the witch put me in the oven.
Come back!
There's more.
I'm scared.
This isn't a game, Callum!
What are you scared of?
Callum, where are you?
Don't let him take me.
Come back!
Keep them away from me.
It's for his own good.
I'm not playing anymore, Callum!
Mommy, I'm scared.
The whole town was shocked by that one. Never found out who did it.
Dismembered corpse behind cotton candy stand. According to local authorities, the corpse is yet to be identified. However, those have been confirmed the remains appear to be those of a child. The corpse was discovered by a group of teenagers from Innsmouth Academy who noticed a pair of ravens tugging at something just out of sight behind the shack. Nathaniel Winter, the owner of Atlantic Island Park, has released the following statement. It's a true tragedy when something like this occurs, especially in a place that was designed to bring forth happiness and joy. The staff at Atlantic Garden Park offers condolences to the family and friends of the victim, and will cooperate fully with the authorities to help bring this case to rest. The Solomon Chronicle will provide daily updates.
This isn't a game, Callum!
Don't let him take me.
Callum? Callum!
Follow
I
the
could check.
breadcrumbs.
I can help you, Callum.
What are you scared of?
This isn't a game, Callum!
There's the cotton candy shack.
Callum, where are
The
you?
witch put me in the oven.
It's obviously perfectly safe to go here.
Come back!
Follow the breadcrumbs.
Poor bastard. Who did this to him?
No. Oh dear.
I'm not playing anymore, Callum! Callum? Callum! This isn't a game, Callum!
Keep them away from me.
I can help you, Callum.
Don't let him take me.
I'm not playing anymore, Callum!
That's right there.
Mommy, I'm scared.
Callum, where are you?
What are you scared of?
Come back!
Ah yes, the pills.
Take me.
These are mine.
Don't believe. Gravity. Gravity is the name of one of the often bugged missions. 1980s. Are you better off than you were years ago? Say no to graffiti. All that you love will be carried away. Some kids laughed and some kids cry, but mostly children simply die. Your mother? Only dead fish follow the stream. Clearly, she has high standards. Not safe. The League. The League says it's not safe here. I can taste your dreams. Destroy reality. Fear the boogeyman. Don't believe anything they tell you. There's the bed again.
Callum, I'm sorry.
There's the boogeyman. So you're definitely supposed to fear the boogeyman, so he makes you turn around. And there's Chad. He doesn't let you go that way. Cotton candy place is locked still. There is a place you get to go back there, I think, in Seven Silences. I can't remember. There's the teddy bears. A wall of teddy bears.
Callum, I'm sorry.
Don't touch me.
Belly button is a signature of your personal creator. I believe her name was Mama. Every 17th child is a magnet of sinfulness made omniscient by broken fires in the coastal strain. We don't believe that the earth belongs to battered goats and shamrock afterbirth. Only the truly naked wrens of righteous indignation are severed by war-crossed cleavages in trust. Exercise arrhythmia. This place is really tripped out. Beaumont will come to the island, bearing the talisman, and he will shatter the seals that bind the orthodoxy of corruption. Only then will priests shoot, sluts reveal, housewives pontificate, and delayed messiahs make axles for the rescue of Tango and Cash. All stuff that happens. Sweet the temptress, who grips the shaft, twists the shaft, absconding with the third age tears into the fourth age darkness, while gods lie writhing on the shattered face of the earth. Gaia has sweetness and grace, but her days are numbered. Heavy fatted hives break before frozen wills and cellulitic actresses and pencil and paper pornography. An all-seeing eye will provide decade-long updates on this story going forward. They're clowns and gnomes. They're kind of like the worst things combined.
Don't leave me here, Callum.
They look like eyes more than...
Follow the breadcrumbs.
Don't leave me here, Callum. Forgive me, Callum. Forgive me, Callum.
In the oven.
Slashes.
This isn't a game, Callum! The park is a collage of contradictions all of its own. Millions of people die every year in car crashes, and the park has little cars designed specifically to simulate that action. Hear the children scream with joy. In the sideshow alley, you can walk away with 15 cents worth of mass-produced Chinese teddy bears, while a grinning carny pockets your hard-earned $5. What secrets lie beneath the sullen waters of the lake? The tears of jilted lovers, the soiled condoms of illicit affairs, the clotted blood of the lonely suicide. And the face of the witch looms over it all. I always despised her toothy grin and warty nose. I hate that sparkle in her weathered, watchful eyes. I think Callum is waiting for me. Inside. Callum, where are you?
Where indeed? This doesn't look like...
What have you done with him? Leave me alone! Don't leave me!
There's something briefly in the corner up there, but I think that's just a glitch. There it is. Atlantic Island Park has closed its gates. A jeering throng of townfolk gathered as we hung the heavy iron padlock on the gates. Small-minded fools scared of what they don't understand. My machines lie silent and ejected, but I am not beaten. I have sent my wife and son back to Boston. I've retreated here to the House of Horrors. I must think. But it's closed. But you were just here today, weren't you? Certainly has been looking condemned. Lorraine is definitely not in her right mind.
God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
Looks like some Illuminati there.
Me alone. Please, don't make me see. Leave me alone. I'm a horrible mother. Where is he?
Don't touch me!
Where is my boy? Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. I'm a horrible mother. Where is he?
Look out! Mommy, behind you!
Still gets me.
Show yourself?
Why did you steal me?
What have you done with him?
Where is Daddy?
Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Don't make me look at it. Don't leave me.
Don't make me see, don't make me look at it.
What have you done with him? Don't leave me.
Had to mute there for a sneeze.
Stop! Give him to me. Show yourself. Who was that? Who was that? me see? What have you done with him? Leave me alone! I'm a horrible mother. Where is he? Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
Get away!
Don't leave me.
Don't let him take me.
Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
Don't touch me!
I'm a horrible mother. Where is he?
No more this way.
Leave me alone. Don't leave me!
Behind you!
This is the same spot, right? Yeah. Alright. Because it was telling me the visual effect somewhere I couldn't
What
get.
have you done with him? Give him to me!
Missed something?
Don't make me look at it.
Mommy, don't hide.
Where is my boy?
Don't believe them.
Let's see, it's right here.
Turn around!
Show yourself.
Turn around, Mommy!
I can't get here. This is in the way.
Show yourself.
Look out!
Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
Behind you!
It keeps saying behind me like
Don't
I'm
leave
supposed to
me.
go that way, but
Who was that? Leave me alone!
alright, here we go.
Don't make me look at it. I'm a horrible mother. Where is he? Don't leave me. Where is my boy? Please, don't make me see.
One of the bonuses to playing this once a year is it really still surprises you sometimes.
What have you done with him?
Oh, jeez. Like that.
Stop! Leave me alone.
down, down, down. The house. Nightmare Circus. Circus burns to the ground opening night, killing dozens. Owners put to death by enraged townsfolk. The picture.
After they let me out, they gave me Callum back and sent me home with a handful of breadcrumbs. Home, bittersweet home. I barely recognized it. Where there had been color and light, there were shadows and regrets. Where there had been warmth, there was a bone-deep coldness that never went away. I tried my hardest to keep the ghosts at bay. Don, watching from the dusty corners while I tried to teach his son to read. My father, coldly assessing me and finding me lacking. I devoted myself to Callum and did the things that they told me. It will get better, they said. Every day will be a little better than the last. I'm in the woods now, lost and afraid. Things never got any better.
There's a Dawn watching me, but Dawn was dead when she was 3 months pregnant. After multiple attempts to collect payment, we regret to inform you that the service has been disconnected, or to please make the following. Please contact your local Wi-Fi office to discuss a placement for you and your loved ones. Winter in Maine is cold and brutal. Don't face it without electricity. Hunger, the story of the Dawners.
What have you done with him?
The wilting. Donna is the key to saving the world.
I'm a horrible mother. Where is he?
Rubik's Cube. I love you. From Callum. Dolls.
Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
Definitely a very very disrepair here. Locked. Remember, drop off Callum. There's a wrench back there, but we're gonna go here first. Lorraine, I received your letter and I'm quite surprised. You ran off with your father all those years ago, then disappeared off the edge of the map. And then when I finally tracked you down, refused to answer any of my letters. And now you write to ask me for help? I have another family now, another life. Your father was a horrible man and I regret the years that I wasted with him. I loved you, I truly did, but every year you grew more and more like him. You were his girl and never really mine. Still would have fought for custody if you hadn't run away with him. Broke my heart, but I needed to go on living. I can't let you back into my life without picking up open wounds. I'm sorry, Lorraine, but I just can't do it. Maybe one day it'll be easier and I can meet Callum, but not yet. I'm not ready to forgive you. Don't contact me again. Estate of Mr. Donald Williams has been completed. We regret to inform you that the primary beneficiaries of estate, including the life insurance settlement for accidental death, were listed as Rose Williams and Richard Williams of New York State, the deceased parents. Our agency made contact with Mr. and Mrs. Williams and explained your situation, especially as regards to the birth of Donald's son, Callum. Unfortunately, they are not receptive to our overtures, and they specified that without any legal proof of biological relationship, they consider you ineligible to receive any of the monies from Donald's estate. They have asked that we no longer contact them regarding this matter. I understand that this may have a negative impact on your current financial situation. I hope they am not being too forward when I enclose the bill of services with this letter. Even better. Lorraine seems to be suffering from depression that began early in her pregnancy. Our discussions have made it obvious that these episodes stem from grief of losing her partner, Dawn, who died about 6 months ago. There are also several unresolved issues with her father. After being kept away, careful observation, we provided standard treatment for this disorder, including electroconvulsion therapy. The patient responded and made a rapid recovery. Lorraine has a newborn son, Callum, who was placed in foster care shortly after birth, when Lorraine displayed symptoms of disorientation and depression. It is our judgment that Lorraine is fit to have her son returned to her, and as long as she follows her recommended aftercare routine and continues with her medications, we have faith that she will be an effective caregiver. Lorraine has her own housing, and her employer, Susie, has said that she is welcome to return to her shifts at the diner. Norma Creed, a local woman, has offered to care for Callum while Lorraine works. It is with this support network in mind that we feel confident releasing Lorraine from this institution. Prescription for Zoloft has been filled at Flagg's Pharmacy in Kingsmouth. She has been advised to start with a 50 milligram dose and then, based on the advice of her doctor, increase the medication as needed.
Given to me!
As we agreed at our meeting today, we consider you fully recovered from your illness. This letter is official notification that you are considered sound of mind and body. Please note that you should discontinue any medication that you have been using and dispose of any remaining medicines. You're cured. Have a good day.
Show yourself?
And curtains look like a mouth. This door goes down again. Same as before. House again. There's the pills. Park, it was a waiting for a child taken. And then the house is even more distorted. Lorraine, things aren't right between us at the moment. I know I want to try and explain. I think it's because I am so far from home and I am working so hard every day working at the park. It gets worse, like spring inside my mind, winding together tighter and tighter. When we go for drinks after work, it gets a little better. The guys relax and we laugh and we're good people again. I don't want to come home to you without being in my right mind. But when this job is done, I need to get out of this place. I need to go back to the city. I don't feel like this anymore. Love you, Donald. P.S. I was thinking about names for boys and girls. I like Callum for a boy. And Emma, if it's a girl. Oh, Dormer. Now our panel Soviet effort under compelling evidence that families were forced to resort to cannibalism. And Soviets. More pills. Lorraine is the key to saving the world again. Lorraine is back. Love you, Callum, still.
I'm a horrible mother.
There's Callum. Take the pills, take the pills.
I'm a horrible
Prescription.
mother. Where is he?
Organize a babysitter, but she's supposed to have a babysitter.
Who was that?
I didn't run away. Dad took me. That is a weird thing to blame on a child. Thank you, William, for the new watch. It is very nice, and it made me a happy carrot.
Leave me alone!
Coffee. Through the door again. Down again. Doors are still locked. Back. Further distorted. Chipmunk stab, stab, stabbing. Oh, it's burned. Tell him if it's a boy. Emma, it's a girl. Story of Hansel and Gretel. All here in the pages of this shocking fake story. Has uncovered compelling evidence that Hansel and Gretel were in fact eaten alive. The hat's all bloody. That's not good. Her lie. There's more yellow. Her cry. See her try. See her lie. See her cry. More pillows. More pills.
Leave me alone.
Zoloft, Zoloft, Zoloft bread. Zoloft bread, butter, corn. Remember, more pills, more pills. But she was supposed to stop taking pills. That doesn't look very good. Lots of blood or something. More pills.
Where is my boy?
History of Solomon Island. Love it just gets more and more demented. It's not going forward in time or back in time. It's like both. It's just a mishmash. This time the door is already open. Mother Duck said quack, quack, quack. Everything's torn apart, knocked over. Not exactly looking wholesome anymore. The story. The witch always wins. The woodcutter is dead. The witch, the witch, the witch, the witch. Say bye-bye.
Stop!
You are all alone. Nobody loves you. Callum is no longer who he once was. Callum is something's wrong with Callum. Callum is changing. It'll be for his own good. Ice pick. A very bloody ice pick. More blood, and this door is finally open.
Give it to me!
And creepy dolls everywhere. Lots and lots of creepy dolls. As we agreed in our meeting today, we consider you batshit fucking insane. Danger to everybody. Drugs. Lots and lots of drugs. Again, the door is already open.
Please, make me see.
See him die, see her cry, see her lie, ask her why, say bye-bye. Oh dear, oh dear. That is, not good.
Don't leave me!
Blood and water.
What have you done with him? Show yourself.
You will watch me rot. Door's closed again. Everything seems calm.
Stories are told again and again, and from their shape we build our understanding of the world. Two children are led into the woods. They are lost for a time, but then are captured by an old witch. A child goes missing in Atlantic Island Park. He wanders lost for a time before finding his way into the mouth of an old witch. In the oldest version of this story, the mother and the witch were the same person. I never wanted to be the witch. But I am, aren't I?
Kids broken today. It's been so long since I heard laughter, so very long. I took one of them. I couldn't help myself. It was fast, the others didn't notice. I liked hearing him laugh, this boy from the academy. I put him on a slab. I tickled him until he couldn't breathe. My machines came to life, whirring in time to gasps and shrieks. I think this is delightful. The train wrought in my machines by is not yet complete. There must be other children I can lay my slab.
Don't leave me. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
Eyes Without Sparkle. QBL Publishing.
What have you done with him?
Hansel and Gretel. Brothers Grimm. Some stories, they're the same person.
Callum. Callum? Callum. Callum. Callum.
Chad. You are always alone. You were never alone. And he lets go. That is the point, is he does let go.
Hey, Lorraine. Lorraine. Don't blame yourself, Lorraine. People lose things all the time.
People lose things all the time.
Take a deep breath and think about the last place you saw your son.
In my heart and mind, I always return to Atlantic Island Park.
And again, that B factors into Seven Silences and how that all plays out. Now I've had this the full credits on my stream before, so I don't feel too bad skipping them this one time. That is the park. 2 hours. Worth playing if you really want to immerse yourself in it. It's definitely worth grabbing, buying. But that is the park. That is the entirety of it. There's there's more to Seven Silences. It continues the story of Lorraine and what happened to her many years later. Yeah. I would recommend at least going and looking up a guide for it and reading the text if you haven't. But it's kind of hard to get the feel of it without seeing the stream. Hopefully they'll bring it back sometime. I would love to see them at least bring it live on the old game, just so we could go play it. Just once more for stream, you know. It's one of those things where I felt awful after I watched it. It was like the most horrible, dark, depressing thing. But I mean, that's a sign that it was a really good story. It was just like, it was so dark and horrible. Many, like, you know, cheerful Disney movies and stuff followed afterwards. Did I miss your stream again? Yes. This is the end of the stream. Just finished the game. Played it through. But definitely, since it is a story narrative game, you can definitely watch it again. But oh, it's all fine. But yeah, I really hope that they do bring the Seven Silences back, just so we could play it through on stream one time. I'll catch you streaming one of these days. Yeah, no problem. It happens. I get it. But yeah, it'd be one of those things where, like I say, the story is very dark because it involves Lorraine, who was already in a really bad spot. Pretty much insane. Kills her own son. And then they put a bee in her. They force one. And that's even worse. And she has to live with everything that she's done and being immortal. And why would a person like that ever want to be immortal, right? So the Seven Silences follows that story of what lengths she would go to stop being immortal. And it is a really dark story. But if they don't bring it back this year, I would definitely recommend looking up like a playthrough somewhere, see if you can find one, and watch it if you haven't seen it, played through in the story. Yeah, so until then, thanks for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. Same time, 2 o'clock, likely. Alright, bye.